So thank you all for being here tonight. We are going to start lying down the back and have a strap and a block nearby. If you are feeling a little tight in the hips, we're going to do reclined down ankle pose. You could have 2 blocks if you want to support your outer knees or outer thighs. So go ahead and get yourselves reclined. And once you're there, bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall open out to the sides. And let your arms relax wherever is comfortable for you. So that might be on the ground or hands on the front of your body or slightly above your head, wherever lets your shoulders relax. So give yourself a moment to arrive in the shape of this pose. And then close your eyes once you're here. I just want you to bring your attention to your pelvis and your hips. And just notice if there's any resistance to this posture at all in the inner thighs, the hip flexors, or the glutes. If you're feeling any of those muscles kind of squeeze and tense up, just want you to focus right now on letting that gradually release. And if you find that you cannot relax the muscles in the legs and the glutes in this pose, and that's a sign from the body that you want to take some support, that the legs don't really want to be this wide open, so the blocks will be a good assist for you in that case. Once the legs feel relaxed, then bring your attention to the shoulders and the upper back. And scan this area again for the same sensation. If you notice any squeezing or resistance to the floor, and if so, just focus on that area, and over the next few breaths, try to invite those muscles to relax so that the shoulders and the arms and the upper back just feel nice and heavy, merging with the ground. Then bring your awareness to the rise and fall of your breath. Watching your body move as the breath draws in and out of the lungs. And start to take a little more time for each breath in, slowing down the speed of the air, taking more time to expand the rib cage and really create space in the upper body. And you may notice that when you're consciously lengthening the inhalation, the exhalation just naturally responds. Trying to keep the flow of the breath steady and consistent. 5 more breaths here in this pose, keeping the legs totally relaxed. And after those 5 breaths, you can use your hands outside your thighs if you like. We're going to gently bring the legs back together. You can move the blocks out of the way if you were using them for support. And let's just plant the feet about hip width apart with the knees bent here. Just give your back a moment to adjust. And then when you're ready, we're going to cross the left ankle to the right thigh for reclined pigeon pose. Press the left knee away from your upper body. And you can stay here, or you can bring the legs in, reach through the space, and hold the back of the right thigh. If you're holding the leg here, just try and keep your shoulders and your upper back relaxed. And if you like, you can rock the hips side to side, just easing some deeper stretch into the left hip. Feel free to move the ankles around a little bit, especially if you've been wearing shoes all day. And curl and spread the toes. Good. Exhale, let go of the right thigh if you took it, and we'll all uncross the left ankle and switch legs. Right ankle to the left thigh, and press the right knee away from you. Good. Optional, you can bring the legs in, reach through the gap, and hold the back of the left thigh. Again, keep the shoulders relaxed, and add that rocking motion if it feels good for the hip. And the next time you exhale, let go of the left leg if you took it, and we'll uncross the right ankle. And grab your straps from here, and we'll take our reclined hamstring sequence. You can bring the right knee to the chest, reach up and place the strap around the ball of the right foot, and lie down. Once you have it, press the foot against the strap and straighten that leg up toward the ceiling. And then slide your left leg down on the ground and really anchor it to your mat. Press out through both heels. Straighten both legs completely and squeeze the front side of the thighs, all the quadricep muscles. Good. Keep a tight grip on your strap and really pull against it, keeping the shoulders connected to the floor. And that tension is going to be helpful for the hamstring stretch. Push your foot up against that tension from the strap. Good. Breathing through it, especially if this is feeling tight for you. Stay committed to a slow, even breath. Good. Hold the strap in the right hand only. Keep that grip tight and open the right leg out to the side. Engage through your core and low back now to avoid tipping over, and really glue that left hip and leg to the mat. One more breath in, and then exhale, bring the leg back up. Good, change hands, left hand on the strap. Cross your leg over the body any amount until you feel it down the outer hip and thigh. The other leg that's on the ground can relax a little bit more here in this variation of the pose. Good, the next time you inhale, lift the leg back up, and then exhale, bend the knee toward you, remove the strap, and release that leg to the ground. Good, adjust the hips if you need to, if they got a little bit off center, and then bring the left knee to the chest, place that strap around the foot, and extend it up toward the ceiling, bring the head and shoulders back to the ground. Good. Adjust the length of your strap if you need to here, and then find that really tight grip that you're going to pull down against with the energy of your arms. Then push up against it with the ball of the left foot. Nice, deep, slow breath. Just lengthening through the hamstrings. And then take the strap in the left hand only, tight grip. Slowly open the leg out to the side. Engage your whole core, lower abdominals, obliques, low back, and keep the right hip and leg connected to the mat. Beautiful. The next time you exhale, bring the leg up, change hands, right hand on the strap, cross the leg over any amount until you feel that sensation now in the outer hip and thigh. You can let your right leg relax a little if you want, but keep the strong energy through the left side. Good, let's inhale, bring the leg back up, and then exhale, bend the knee toward you and get rid of the strap, release that leg to the floor, and just shake it out a little bit. Shake the back of the thighs against the mat, or wiggle the knees and feet a little side to side. Just let go of some of the intensity in the thighs. Good, all right, we're gonna take a little core work here. I'm gonna have you first start with no block. So you're gonna bend the knees, open the arms out to the side in a T position, and then bring the knees into your upper body. Bring them in as close as you can first. And just notice what that does to your low back. You should flatten your back into the floor. So for now, keep your knees here and lift your feet up a little bit until you make a right angle behind your knees. And now start to move your thighs away from your upper body until you feel your lumbar arch come back. And it should start to get challenging in your abdominals. So at whatever point the challenge is enough for you, you're gonna hold right there. Even though you're engaging your abs and the whole front side of the body, I don't want you to hold your breath. So figure out where you can expand to breathe deeply without losing the contraction of the abdominals. Good. Try and keep the effort concentrated in the core only, without involving the shoulders or the arms or the neck. And whenever you need a break, just bring the knees right back to your chest. Hug the arms around the legs and rock a little on your low back. If you're still with me, we're just going to take a few more breaths. Good, the next time you exhale, bring the knees in, wrap the arms around the legs, and start rocking side to side. And then rock the knees around in a circle a few times. Change direction of that circle. Good, and then put the feet on the ground, grab your block if you have it. If you don't, you can do this without a block. Just try and keep a little bit of space between your knees. But the block is just going to work your hip flexors a little bit more as we do this. You can take the block on the narrowest width, place it in between the knees, and start to squeeze it with your inner knees. You should feel that fires up your hip flexors at the inner thighs. So same thing, we're going to take the arms out to the side, bring the knees all the way into the chest first, so you feel how your low back is flat on the ground. There should be no effort from your abs yet. And now do the same thing we did last time. Move the thighs away from your body until you feel your lumbar arch come back and that there's some effort in your core. And raise your feet about that 90-degree bend behind the knees. Good. Keep squeezing your block here. If this is too challenging, you can bring your arms down and grab the edges of your yoga mat. Okay? So we're going to take some little twisting motion here, but the key to this is to not allow the thighs to come any closer to your body. So they're going to stay out where they are. So slowly rotate your legs to the right. Keep squeezing that block, but don't let the legs touch the floor. Just when you feel that twist, then exhale and contract back to your starting point, and then slowly to the left. Keep squeezing the block. Don't let the legs quite touch the ground, and then use an exhalation to help return. All right? So that's our motion, and you're just going to rock back and forth with that, moving slowly, using the breath to always help you return to the starting point. And if or whenever you need a break, just pause and hug the knees to your chest and return to the motion when you're ready. And you may find that your hip flexors need a break before your abs do, or vice versa. Right? If you feel like you can't keep actually squeezing the block, then you can give yourself a moment to pause also. But if you're still with me, we're going to do 2 more to each side. Try and always use your exhalation to help you rotate back to the center. Right? Because that's going to help you really contract and make that motion easier. Good. Last one. Once your knees are at center, bring them in, remove that block, and let's take some rocking again, just massaging the lower back. Rock the knees around in a wide circle a few times. Change direction of the circle. And then we're going to take happy baby pose. Separate the knees wider than the upper body. Lift the feet and hold on to the outer feet or ankles. You can rock here a little bit too if that feels good. Good, and then release. You can place the feet on the floor, and I'm just going to have us do a little supported bridge to help relax the hip flexors from that. So take your block on the medium height that it can go. Lift your hips and slide the block underneath your sacrum so that it supports the back of the hips there. And keep your right leg in bridge pose. Slide your left leg down in front of you and let it totally relax to passively stretch the hip flexor. And raise your left arm above your head as well, letting the elbow bend if you like, just adding to the length in the upper part of the psoas here. And take at least 5 deep breaths. When you're ready to switch, you can lower the left arm and bring that left foot back in so that leg is in bridge. And then slide your right leg down, let it relax. Raise your right arm up and over your head Again, take at least 5 breaths here. And after those 5 breaths, you can bring your arm back down and bend your right knee, planting the foot underneath it. And we're going to press against the heels, lift your hips up into bridge, off of the block, reach underneath you and remove that block, and slowly roll down your spine. Good. From here, we're going to rock on the spine a few times to come up off the back. So bring both knees to your chest. Tuck your chin toward your chest and just start building that momentum, swinging the knees toward you and then starting to rock on the length of the spine. Maybe 2 or 3 complete rocks to bring yourself all the way up, and then let's come forward into table pose. So on the hands and knees toward the front of your mat here. Okay, let's take a few rounds of spinal waves. Inhale, lift the tailbone, chest and chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. Tuck the chin, rounding the back. Again, inhale. And exhale. Continue through both directions, moving at the speed of your breath. Last round. Then come back to neutral table pose. We'll keep the shoulders in line over the palms. Bring the legs and knees together and then walk the knees maybe a foot farther back. We're going to do a little shoulder warm up and work on lowering to the ground here. So on an exhalation breath, bend your elbows and lower your body in one line to the floor. Squeeze your shoulders and inhale, press back up to your knees. And then exhale, sit back on your heels to child's pose. We'll do that a few times. Inhale, come forward, shoulders over the palms. Exhale, strong core as you lower down. Squeeze the shoulders and inhale, push up. Exhale, back to child's pose. Take that maybe 3 to 5 more times at your own pace. Try and keep the elbows really close to your upper body, especially when you press back up. That's when there's maybe a tendency to let the elbows open up out to the side, but we really want to work the shoulders and triceps here and keep them nice and close. Just nice, slow flow through this. One more. When you get back to child's pose, you can stay there. You can open the knees if you like, or keep them close. You can keep the arms forward or wrap them around the legs. Just take a few breaths there in child's pose, letting your shoulders and upper back melt. Good. From here, you can lift yourself up and let's come into downward facing dog. Plant the palms, lift your hips up and back, and drop your head. Feel free to move around in the pose. You can stretch the back of the calves, alternate bending one knee and reaching the other heel down. Just noticing how your back feels tonight, how the shoulders are feeling. And then on an inhalation breath, let's raise the right leg up into the air for 3-limb dog. Try and keep everything else in the body the same. Square hips, Chest facing the floor still, even pressure in both hands. And look toward the front of your mat. We're going to use the exhalation to step the right foot all the way forward. High lunge. If it doesn't make it there in one step, just keep going with the foot. Come up on your fingertips or blocks. Good, really strong and active in the back leg. So feel that knee nice and high. Good, from here, let's take a twist. Left palm down, rotate and raise the right arm up. Good, really strongly push the ground with your left hand. And then rotate all the way up the spine. One more breath in. And exhale, release. And let's bring the back knee to the ground, low lunge. Point the back toes and get nice and low in the hips. And really press against the back ankle. So the top of the foot and ankle are in contact with the floor. Really press into that point and then rise up to a low crescent lunge. Lifting the spine, lifting the arms up over the shoulders. Press against your front heel as well. Feel that lift from the low back all the way out the crown of the head. Good, exhale, release, hands to the floor. Rock your hips back in space and try and straighten your right leg for half split. You can walk your hands or blocks back a little bit so they're more in line with the shoulders. Lift the toes of your right foot off the ground so you're really just pressing against the heel there. Nice deep hamstring stretch. Good, on an exhalation, come forward again to your lunge. Tuck your back toes under and lift that knee off the ground. And then from here, go back to down dog. Step back and lift up through the hips. Good, let's raise the left leg up. 3-limb dog. Keep everything else in the body the same. Slow, steady breath. And then look forward with your exhalation. Step that left foot all the way up in between the hands. High lunge. Good, come up on the fingertips or on blocks. Stay here. Nice and high through the back leg. Good, spinal twist. Right hand stays down, rotate from the waist and raise the left arm up. And exhale, release that hand to the floor and bring your back knee down as well, low lunge. Point the back toes and press against that contact point. On an inhalation, rise up to low crescent lunge. Lengthening up the spine, pressing against the front foot as well. One more breath in. And exhale, release, hands to the floor. Send your hips back and try and straighten your left leg for our half split. You can bring your hands or blocks back a little too and lift the left toes up so you're just pressing the heel into the mat. Good, exhale, come back to your lunge. Tuck your back toes under and lift that knee. Plant your palms, return to down dog. Step back, lift the hips. Good, let's take 5 breaths here. So settle into the pose, let your head and neck drop. Try and concentrate on one single point if you can. And on an inhalation, look forward. Exhale, walk up to the front of your mat and hang over your legs in Uttanasana, forward bend. Let your head and neck drop. Feel your shoulders melt. And start to feel the weight of your hips move over the balls of the feet. And really press against the balls of the feet and feel your hip joints lift higher up toward the ceiling as the crown of the head draws lower toward the mat. Place the hands against the shins. Inhale to the flat back position. Long arms, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Twice more. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And again, inhale. Exhale, release. Good. We're going to come to stand. Inhale, rise up, reach over your head. And exhale, arms to your sides. So let's come through just a few rounds, some slow sun salutations. So make sure you're at the front of the mat, standing mountain pose. On an inhalation breath, reach up through the arms. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, cobra, rolling up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push up to the knees. Exhale, back and lift for down dog. Stay here and breathe. On an inhalation, look forward. Exhale, step to your hands. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up, reaching over your head. Exhale, arms to your sides. Second round. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, walk to plank. One breath in. Exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, head down. Inhale, push up. Exhale, back to down dog. Slow, steady breath. On an inhalation, look forward. Exhale, step to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reaching over your head. Exhale, arms to your sides. Once more. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. One breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up. Exhale, back to down dog. Feel your neck release. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, step to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your head, and exhale, release. Good. For this next pose, you may or may not end up wanting a block. It's going to be a variation of a twist in chair pose. So I'm going to put the block on the right side of my mat toward the front. And we're going to stand with the feet about hip width apart. And we're going to take a really sort of combination between flat back and chair pose. So I want you to bend your knees, send your butt way back, and then bend your knees deeper so that you're in the flat back position and touch your fingertips to the floor right in front of your feet. Right, so if you can't touch the floor, you need to bend your knees more. Right, so it's the sort of flat back version of chair pose. All right, so I'm going to cross my left hand to the outside of the right foot. If it doesn't reach the floor when you do that, take your block and put your hand on the block. Okay, so I'm still sitting back, spine is nice and straight, and now start to twist to the right, rotate, and raise your right arm up. So you're sitting way, way back. Nice straight spine. Good. Exhale, release the arm. Drop your head and lift your hips up a little bit. Just straightening the legs. Give your thighs a break. Forward fold. And then we're going to return to that low chair pose. Bend your knees, send your hips way back, and straighten your spine with your fingertips on the floor, right in front of your feet. So flat back position in your deep chair. Cross your right hand just to the outside of the left foot. And if you can't do that with the hand on the floor, put the hand on the block. And then twist, raise your left arm up. Keep sitting back in that seat. Good. Exhale, release, forward fold. Just lift the hips a little, drop the head. Good. If your hands don't touch the floor here, bend your knees more and just walk it back to down dog from here. Good. Let your head and neck relax. And from this down dog, raise your right leg up into the air. Look forward and exhale. Step the foot in between the hands. Bring your back knee, your left one, down to the floor. Point the toes. And just take a few moments here sinking down into the hips. And then take both arms to the inside of the right foot. Move that foot over a little bit. Turn the foot out and let the knee fall away from your shoulder. If you want, you can rock a little side to side here in the hips. Should feel like a nice release in the front of the left thigh and quad, which has worked really hard in that chair pose. And then you can stop that motion if you like. We'll stay just still in the pose for a few more breaths. If you want, you can bring the elbows to a block or down to the ground, or you can stay where you are. Good. If you're down on your elbows, come back up to your hands. Move the right foot over even farther. And then slowly rock the hips back and just drag that foot out of the lunge into table. Good. Plant your palms shoulder width apart and lift up to down dog. Good. Other side. Raise your left leg up into the air. Look forward. Exhale, step the foot all the way up in between your hands and bring your back knee to the ground. Good. Point your back toes. Just take a few breaths here, releasing down into the hip. Nice stretch here for the front of the right thigh. Let's take both arms inside of the left foot, which you can move over a little bit and turn out. And then let your left knee and thigh fall away from the shoulder And if you like, you can rock back and forth with the hips, and going deeper into the stretch and then away from it. And then eventually let that motion stop and just hold the pose still for a few more breaths, either up here on the hands or fists or with the elbows on a block or the ground. If you're down on your elbows, come on back up to your hands, and we'll move the left foot over even a little bit wider, and then rock the hips back and step that foot out of the lunge, knee down to table. The last time in down dog, plant the palms, spread the fingers widely, and lift up and back. Let your head and neck drop. Just find as much length through your arms and your spine as you can. 5 more breaths. Good. Bring your feet and legs together. Look forward and come into plank pose. Shoulders over the palms. On an exhalation, slowly lower all the way to the ground. Good. Once you're there, point your toes and support your forehead with your left forearm so that you can breathe with your face down. We're going to take a little quad and psoas stretch here. Bend your right knee and reach back to the top of the foot or front of the ankle. And just guide that heel closer to your hip. Again, just releasing from the intensity of holding that really low chair twist. I want to make sure we get a nice stretch through the quads and then flexors. If you're not really feeling the stretch, you could try hovering your thigh off the mat about an inch or so as you're holding the heel here. Good, you can release, let go of the right foot and switch sides. So support your forehead with the right forearm, bend your left knee and reach back, taking the foot or the heel or the ankle, whatever you can reach. Bend the elbow if you can and bring the heel even closer to your hip. You could also hover the front of the thigh off the mat an inch or so. Really feel your breath expand against the mat every time you inhale. And completely empty the lungs every time you exhale. Good. Let's release the foot, let it go. You can place both hands on top of each other, just making a little pillow here. Let your shoulders melt. And let your low back relax. Just take a few breaths into the floor. And then separate your legs a little wider than hip width. Bend your knees so your feet lift up and swish your feet back and forth from side to side. Little windshield wipers to loosen up the low back and massage the quad muscles against the floor. Good, and then release the legs. Bring the legs a little closer together again, about hip width or even closer if you like. And let's come up onto the elbows and forearms for Sphinx pose. Do a little chest opening and a little back bend. So plant the elbows directly underneath your shoulders. forearms are parallel, palms are flat on the mat. And so if you do nothing, if you just kind of like rest on your elbows and sort of let everything else be passive, you may feel like it's a lot of pressure in the low back. So if you become more active in the legs by squeezing the glutes and pressing the front of the pelvis into the floor, you should take out some pressure in the low back. And also more active in the upper body, really push your elbows into the ground, glide your shoulder blades back, and lift up through your chest. And then just feel your low belly expand against the mat as you inhale. And then the navel draw in toward you as you exhale. And then if you like, a slight variation here, you can hover the elbows off the ground. So push the palms into the floor, lift the elbows slightly, but don't let your shoulder blades lift. All right, so it's not this, that's going to be really tight against the neck. So shoulder blades are still low, forearms are parallel. We've just now hovered the elbows and forearms off the ground a little. Keep that strong energy through the glutes. Good, and then let's lower the elbows if you lifted, and then let's actually bring the arms down alongside the body instead of making that pillow this time. So turn your head to one side, whichever is more comfortable for your neck. Let both arms rest alongside the body so that you can really feel your shoulders now sink down into the floor. Completely letting go through your upper back. And again, you can separate the legs a little wider, bend the knees, and take those windshield wipers back and forth from side to side. A couple of times in each direction. Good, go ahead and lower the feet. Take your hands right outside of your chest. Put your forehead on the ground. And with an exhalation, just press yourself up to your knees into table pose. And then slide your knees forward and wider apart and slowly sit down on the heels for child's pose. Just take your time. The knees should be wide enough to let your upper body now fall through the thighs, lowering the head to the ground. And let your arms and shoulders relax. And close your eyes here. And just focus on your breath. Feeling your low back lengthen and expand with each breath in. Good. From here, open the eyes and lift your head, walking the hands in, coming up out of child's pose. And we're going to take a seat. We're going to end up with a seated forward fold. So if you want to use your strap, you can grab that. And if you'd like to elevate your hips, you can take some support as well. I'm grabbing a blanket here. All right, so once you're sitting, let's extend the legs out in front of us. And point the toes up toward the ceiling, really press out through your heels, and throw that strap around the balls of both of your feet here. Just like we started class, you're going to have a really tight grip with your hands, keeping that tension in the strap, and lift up nice and tall through your spine. Try and create an L shape with your body. So we'll just sit tall for a few moments here, working that length from the low back up to the crown of the head. And then tuck your chin to the chest. When you're ready, pull against your strap and start to fold forward, little by little. And then re-extend your arms. If you have a lot of strap left, just hold it wherever they land. If you're at the feet, you can grab the edges of the feet or the heels instead. Close the eyes if you like. And just let your breath still be pretty deep. Even though we're winding down, still want to use the breath to our advantage in every pose. So here, feeling your waist and your low back expand. When you're ready to come out, inhale and roll up. Good, you can get rid of your strap. And we're going to keep the right leg straight, bend your left knee and hug the thigh toward you, planting the sole of the foot on the floor. We're going to take a seated twist, so sit up tall, raise your left arm and hug the knee toward you with your right hand as you twist, rotate and put the left hand down behind your back. One more deep breath in. And exhale, unwind. Good, straighten your left leg in front of you and bend your right knee, bringing the thigh in, sole of the foot to the floor. Good, sit up tall, raise your right arm, and then twist as you hug the bent knee toward you and put the right hand just behind your back on the floor. One more breath in. And exhale, unwind. Good, release that leg, slide down off of whatever you might have been sitting on and get yourself comfortable on your back for Shavasana, final relaxation. So once you are settled and comfortable on your back, gently close your eyes. And take a brief moment to just scan through your body from head to toe. Make any little adjustments if you need to so that you're completely comfortable. And let go of any remaining active energy in your muscles or your joints. Feel your whole body melt into the ground. And take one final deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let your lower jaw relax and feel your tongue and throat release. Now letting your normal breath return. Slowly bring your attention back to your breath. Take a few deeper breaths to signal your body that you're about to move. You can move a little bit through the fingers and toes or wherever else feels good. And then eventually bend your knees and roll over to one side of your body, curling up into a fetal pose. Just pause there briefly and notice how you feel right now. And then use as little effort as possible to come up to a comfortable seat, keeping your eyes still closed. Once you're sitting, feel that tall posture again and get back into the rhythm of the deeper, more conscious breath. And then we'll end our practice chanting Om one time. Bring the palms together in front of the heart and take a deep breath in. Exhale, gently bow your head, acknowledging yourself for making time and space to practice tonight, and expressing gratitude to your own body. And thank you all so much for being here tonight with me again. I hope that you enjoyed this class and you get a wonderful night's sleep. Thank you.